What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. I am Keywan Humphreys. Today is day 10 of Going for 25 Days of Christmas, where I'm uploading every single day up until Christmas. We had a goal to hit 300 subs. We hit 300 subs. So now we're just trying to continue to put out this content and continue to add more people to our community, to our family. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment what your thoughts is after this video, and share with your folks. Let's get right into it. Okay. The Boston Celtics are one of the most pleasant surprises so far this season. I talked about it briefly in my preseason prediction video about the Eastern Conference standings. I said the Boston Celtics are probably going to be bad this year because they don't got their best player. They traded away Porzingis and Jrue Holiday, and their roster just does not look good. But boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong, because right now, 24 games into the season, the Boston Celtics have a 15-9 record, and they currently sit third in the Eastern Conference. They're currently on a 5-game winning streak. They're balling. And the thing about the Boston Celtics is they have 9 wins against winning teams. You look at the Eastern Conference standings. You got the Pistons at 1. Boston beat them. You got the Knicks at 2. Boston beat them. You got the Raptors at 4. Boston just beat them on Sunday. And you look at the Cavs, they beat the Cavs. So all these teams that are at the top of the Eastern Conference, they still are having trouble with the Boston Celtics, despite the changes in the roster, despite not having Jason Tatum due to an Achilles injury. 5-game winning streak. I didn't think I'd be hopping on here talking about the Boston Celtics having a great season. I had pretty much written them off. I said, okay, this is going to be a year where they kind of take their year off and then come back next year stronger, similar to how Golden State did before they won a championship in 2022. But that's not what they're thinking. They're thinking, hey, the East is so wide open, we might be 1 or 2 moves out from really being a contender still. So let's talk about how the team looks. They've won 5 straight games. Over these 5 wins, Jaylen Brown has been going stupid. Actually, he's been going crazy all year long. He's averaging a little bit north of 29 points per game. His gravity as a scorer is making him a way better playmaker. He's just doing everything right. Over these last 5 games, he's averaging 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. I've never seen Jaylen Brown pass the ball like that. Never. Derek White, who is the solidified number 2 right now for this team, is averaging 24 points per game, shooting 40% from three-point line over these last 5 games. You got Peyton Pritchard, who's averaging 20 points. He's been ejected into the starting lineup, and now he's really living it up there, doing what he got to do. Hooping. He had to hoop. We know Peyton Pritchard nice, but he hooping. I think he just had 40 against the Cavs last week. What? You know what I'm saying? And not to mention they got other guys that's playing really, really well. You think about Jordan Walsh. Jordan Walsh right now, over his last 3 games, he's 18 for 19 from the field, scoring 47 points. Jordan Walsh is playing well. Sam Howes is playing well. Nemia Keita, I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name, but he's playing well. Anthony Simons is losing his spot in the rotation, but in the time he comes in, he's playing well as well. So the Boston Celtics have found they've hit big on those role players. And that was a key for them to be somewhat competitive this season. They needed the role players to step up and be great because they're missing 3 starters that they had last season. They're missing Jason Tatum. They've gotten rid of Jrue Holiday and Porzingis. So this is essentially a whole new team they're pushing out here. And if you look at the way these guys are playing now, imagine when JT's back in the fray, and then all those guys are moved to the second unit and they're still out there producing because they got the confidence that they've gained over the course of playing those extended minutes. This team looks good. Let's talk numbers. Okay, so the Boston Celtics over the last 2 weeks are number 1 in offensive rating. I think they're number 2 completely on the season in terms of offensive rating behind, I want to say, Oklahoma City Thunder, funny enough. But they are balling. And you think about Boston Celtics, you think about the last couple of years, Boston has lived and died by the 3-point shot. They averaged 50% of their shots. Over half of their shots last season came from behind the 3-point line. And when they're hitting, they're hitting. And when they're not hitting, they're losing. And we saw that in the playoffs last year against the New York Knicks, a series where they just shot historically bad in almost every single one of their losses, and that led to losing. So coming into the season, everybody's like, okay, well, Joe Mazzulla, y'all got to figure something out because this three chucking extravaganza is not going to win you games if you're not making shots at a high level. So guess what? They're not shooting as many threes now. Now, don't get me wrong. They were shooting 50% last year. It's down to about 44% now. You know, they're second in the NBA in terms of three-point shot, in terms of the amount of their shots being three-pointers. So you would think, okay, they're taking less threes. That means they're getting more to the basket. No, their shots at the basket is also low. It's lower than it was. It's down to 22%. It's down to 22%, down from 25% last season. So where are the difference in these shots coming from? They're coming in the mid-range.
Someone is at front door.
Someone's at the front door. So the difference in these two shots are coming from the mid-range. Coming from the mid-range. The mid-range shot, a shot that the Celtics last season, they took barely any mid-range shots. Now they're taking them, and guess what? They're efficient with it. They're shooting 44% 46% on their mid-range shots. So the mid-range shot, the shot that everyone says is the worst shot in basketball, and to an extent it is, because the risk and reward is not worth it. You know, I'm not an analytical head, but I understand what the analytical heads are saying. But when you can make that shot, not to mention that 46% from the mid-range is statistically the best they shot from the mid-range over the last decade. That's crazy. And with them doing that, with them adding that variation into their offense, with them adding that variation into their shot attempts, now their offense is taking off. Taking off without even their best player even on the court. That's crazy. So I think it's important also to look at not just, you know, the shots they're taking, the way the top players are playing, but their role guys. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Their role guys are balling. I mean, Jordan Walsh has been inserted in the starting lineup. The Celtics are 10-2. They are 10-2 with Jordan Walsh in starting five. And I talked about how good he's been offensively, but defensively, this man he's been an absolute terror. I mean, when he switched on to these teams' top scorers, he shuts them down. He shut down Karl-Anthony Towns. He shut down Austin Reeves. He shut down Cade Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? This guy, his length and his athleticism makes him a very tough guy to score on. And he doesn't take no play off. No play off. This is a very big piece. I know. I remember him hooping back in the summer league, but I guess I ain't think he would be hooping like this in the regular league. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Nemia Kite is kind of like the only, I'm messing up his name, but he is really the only center on the team that's getting legit minutes. And he leads the team in plus minus. The Boston Celtics are a lot better when he's on the court than when he's not on the court. And that may be because of their lack of depth at the center position. But I think he's playing great, averaging 10 points, getting about 8 rebounds a game, shooting 71%. He's been, you know, he's very efficient with what he does, and he's really going to defensive end as well. He's a presence down there. He's a presence. Sam Hauser's been out there playing great defense as well. I remember I was watching clips from the Raptors game. They were blocking every single shot that went to the basket. Sam Hauser, Jaylen Brown, Nemia Kite, all those guys were just protecting the rim at a very high level, and that is crazy. Now, mind you, as a team, defensively, they aren't the best. I think they're 22nd in terms of defensive rating as a team. But individually, they know how to get some stops. They got the personnel, they know how to get some stops. So, very, very, very tough. Very, very tough for the Boston Celtics, man. If there was one thing that I would feel they had to do, they need to go get some kind of depth at the center position. Maybe you don't got to get a center that will start over Nemia, but maybe a guy that is serviceable behind him. You know what I'm saying? I was watching this Boston Celtics video before while I was doing research for this video, and they were saying how Day'Ron Sharpe might not be a bad guy to just add some kind of serviceable depth to this big lineup, and that may be the case. You know what I'm saying? But I look at Boston, I think, man, like, this team is way better than I thought it were. Way better than I thought they were going to be. And it seems like everyone has stepped up. Jaylen Brown's playing at a I know he ain't going to win the MVP, but he's playing like an MVP. He's playing like an MVP. You know what I'm saying? Derek White has continued to ascend. He's continued to develop even in his above 30 age. And all those other guys I mentioned are playing well as well. I didn't mention Josh Minot. Josh Minot is playing crazy. I wasn't the biggest fan of the pickup, but seeing him play, he's fitting in, doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think the big thing, too, with the Celtics is that all these guys are on these small contracts. They're on these small contracts, produce on these small contracts. So they're still under that second or first apron. You know what I'm saying? That they had to get under when they traded away Jrue Holiday and traded away Kristaps Porzingis. So, man, Boston Celtics, they look good. We'll see how they do their back end action. I want to say on Saturday, because we got the whole Vegas thing going on right now, the NBA Cup thing going on right now, so all the teams are off. But they look good there. It's a pleasant surprise to see them at high. Boston Celtics fans, put your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks. Until next time, I'm going for 2. Be out of here. Yeah.